Hello everyone, my name is Kurazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world and on top of the world, or at least our house, after having put together our very first apiary over there. And if I bring up the HUD with F4, you'll see it is a couple days after we last saw each other. And I have been busy in the intervening time. I have, as promised, been keeping an eye on the bees, and I have harvested, I believe, 7 more skeps, and there might be more, but I kind of ran out of cattails, and I had to go over into yon scrubland over here to find some more. But let's see if there's any more ready for harvest. There probably are. Okay, I'm kind of surprised because most of these have been here for like a day and a half, 2 days. Oop, don't know. Oh well. But I have been hard at work, kind of doing some background things to keep the series moving. I did some clay forming. I'm making some crocks right now. I made 5 more clay vessels for storage because things were getting a little bit tight. So we have 5 more of these guys. And I've started putting like animal goods in this one, and these are definitely organized. Yes, you just don't understand how they're organized. Yep. And then I also made some jugs and a watering can. And let's talk about those for a second before we get into the meat of today's video. Jugs are a container that can hold up to 3 liters of pretty much any liquid. That could be water, that could be oil, that could be honey. And so in the last episode, we had squeezed the first batch of honey into these bowls. You'll see they're empty. And that is because this jug now has 3 liters of honey in it. And this one has 1.8. And these are just a more efficient means of storing and using the honey without having to make a million bowls and storing honey in those. The watering can, on the other hand, is a means by which you can manually water your crops. Now, if you're very unlucky and or didn't have a chance to settle in an area with plenty of water, then you might have needed to make a watering can and dip it into some water with right-click, and then water your plants by holding right-click. Now, with a field like this, there generally isn't much of a need to water it, but you'll see that with the farmland blocks 1 block away, like adjacent to the water, they still don't get 100% moisture. They cap out at 75%. And frankly, it is kind of irritating given, like, if you planted your plants this close to water, they'd be drowning in real life, unless they were maybe, I guess, rice. Irritating, but that's how the game works. What you can do, though, is to speed them up just a little bit more. You can bring in a watering can and splash these guys with a bit of water. I did it for the fennel just to make them grow a little faster because these guys are just taking forever. Oh, we have 9 out of 9s. We have just a couple that aren't ready yet. Okay. And the last thing I did, or actually kind of the first thing I did, was I did go over there and I dug out those 2 ruins we have, but I didn't keep the recording because there was just dirt. There was literally nothing there, just dirt and stone. What are we doing today? Well, we're kind of at a stage in the game where we're pretty comfortable. If we check out our pantry, we have plenty of food. That's not food, but that's food. And this is likely to last us probably through the winter, especially if we can preserve some of it, especially the fruit. We have candles going on. There isn't much pressure for us to do anything at the moment. We're waiting for our pigs to have babies and our rabbits to have, what are they called, leverets? That's the word, leverets. There isn't anything pressing for us to do. That means it's time to do fun things like building. And I was thinking it would be really cool to have some glass windows. Glass is normally a kind of luxury / mid-game item, but there are some ways to get enough glass in the early game to make some worthwhile windows, because these are pretty terrible. If there was like a bear out there, I need to kind of like quickly crouch and uncrouch to sort of see through it well enough. If we had some glass, we could have a nice clear view out. And there are a couple ways of getting glass. We're going to go over how to get those in the early game, as well as how to make the glass itself. If you are lucky enough to have spawned near an area that has some natural fire clay, then you can just go dig up some fire clay and make a bloomery and smelt your glass. We are not so lucky. Instead, we have to make our own fire clay. And at this stage of the game, in the Stone Age, we can't do that because that requires a quern, which requires you to have at least copper tools. But we can go and collect quartz. We've grabbed some quartz before from the ground, and I kind of just tucked it away because there wasn't much we could do with it. But there is a chance when you pick up quartz off the ground that you won't get regular quartz, you'll get clear quartz. We have some over here, though I did hear a wolf howling last night, which means those have respawned in the area here. Here we go, right here we have some quartz. Now quartz spawns in veins that are enormous underground. In fact, up here on the mountain, this whole stripe is quartz, as is that whole stripe. They're pretty big, so they're hard to miss, and we already have this one marked on the map. See this waypoint right here? So I'm pretty secure in just picking this up. And we got regular quartz. Unfortunate, but them's the shakes. We also have some quartz kind of on the side of the mountain over here. Let's go over there and see if we can get any from that deposit. Wolfie. No thank you. Alright, let's get up here. Here we are, a bit of quartz ground here and here. And some quartz deposits will place a ton of these little quartz stones lying around. I'm going to pick up some of these here, even the ones that aren't quartz. Oh, we've already got 2 clear quartz. Perfect. So 2 clear quartz will give us enough for 1 window. Yeah, it will be. Oh, my goodness. Hello, sir. This is my quartz. Back off, buddy. Oops. Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. Yeah, that's what I thought. I want to know where he came from. Oh, there it is. Here's our little cave. I am going to put up a little bit of a wall here, just to keep things from crawling out at us. As I was saying, you don't get a whole lot of window for the amount of glass you put into it. So we might need to pick up a lot of these little stones that have quartz in them. And I think we're getting to the end of this deposit here, unfortunately. And we got... Oh, there's one over here. I think I see one more. Nope, that's flint. There's more deposit here. I'm not really seeing much in the way of quartz on the ground, though. There's one. Quartz bits. You can also occasionally find gold or silver bits mixed in with the quartz. And that will mean that that quartz vein actually contains gold or silver. We should probably take care of that wolf here. Come and get some, dude. No? Ooh. Hey. Hey, get out of here. Gotcha. Boy. But messy that time. Our armor took a bit of a hit there, but that's okay. Got any fat on you, buddy? You do. Very nice. Okay, with that said, let's head home. Oh, there's a raccoon here. Really? With that said, let's run home. We're going to drop off all these things we've now gotten. And we're going to head out tomorrow to check out the last location where we have some quartz that we know of. We've only gotten still just the 2 clear quartz. That's just 1 window. So yeah, we're going to need to check out that other deposit. And once we come back, we'll talk about the other ways we can get our hands on some quartz. But first, since we have the time, why don't we take a moment and put some of this honey to a new use. Honey can be used in regular meals. You can add it to meals that would normally take a fruit, and it will add a fruit to it. We can also use it to preserve other fruit for the long term. So some containers are a little finicky with how much they'll allow you to pour into a pot at one time. And you need 0.2 liters per unit of fruit times 2. So 0.8, 0.8, 4, and 4. Or 1.2, 1.2, 6, and 6. And this will let us make some jam. Let's go ahead and jam it up. Now jam is kind of unique in that it stores by default for a very, very long time. If you are at the stage in the game where you are regularly using fat or beeswax to seal your crocks, you probably don't need to do that for your jam. A sealed crock of jam in a cellar can last upwards of 10 in-game years. For reference, we're about a third of the way through our first year, and we're about 14 hours into the game. So unless you plan on just sleeping through a lot of summers and doing nothing, and waking up in 10 years, you probably don't need to seal your jam crocks. And there we go. We have one. Let's go ahead and we're going to grab a crock. I'm going to fill this guy up. And there we go. We now have 4 servings of blackberry jam. Now, it doesn't provide a ton of nutrition or satiation, but in winter, it can be hard to save your fruit for the long term, so it's a pretty good thing to do anyway. Let's do some red currant jam this time. Perfect. And we have just enough for a third batch of jam. So I'm going to make some jam, and once our jam has cooled enough to show the spoil timer, I'll show you just how long this stuff will last in our cellar. Alright, good morning folks. Let's go take a look at how long our jam will stay fresh for in our cellar. I also made a few more crocks of some porridge with red currant, and it's not keeping as long as I would think it should. I feel like it should be staying good for closer to 13 days. Oh, we have to put them in the vessels. Oh. I misspoke in the episode about cellars. You do need to put your food in vessels. So out here in the open, these will last almost 40 days, but in a vessel, or if you are in the copper age and you have shelves, then they'll last over a year. Well, I think I need to make 5 more storage vessels then. I could have sworn that we could put crocks out in the open and they'd be fine. Even a veteran of, 5-6 years gets things wrong? Oh well. Now, before we head out, I'm going to go and tend to the bees, because we need to keep those moving and get as many candles as we possibly can before winter sets in. Because once it gets cold, the bees go to sleep. Good morning, my buzzing friends. You're ready, you're ready, you're ready. Okay, yeah, we can harvest a few of these guys here. We might not be able to harvest all of them, because I can only make 2 skeps right now to replace, and we only get back about half of what we put in when you break a skep, so we might not get enough to make all, what's this, 5 skeps here? But we'll do our best. Now, we have 8. We're unlikely to get 8 more, but let's find out. Do we get lucky this time? And we did not. So we're going to be missing 1 skep for now. That is a-okay by me. We'll just replace it later. Okay, off we go to one of the other 2 places that we have found quartz. Okay, we're here. I spy a bit of a snack. Too bad. Nutrient uptake is lower. Sure, I'll take that. And here we go. We have some more quartz. I'm going to go ahead and pick up as many as I can find here. And we'll see what we got. Noting that I did arrive here with 2 clear quartz already in my bag. Okay, I think we got everything here, and we have 16 regular quartz and 4 clear quartz. Still not great. But the last place we can check is down by where we went on our adventure to find bees. So I'm going to take a quick trek down to the desert down there, and we'll see what we can find. Is it faster to go along this way? No, we'll go around our forested area here again, and back the way we came. I think the quartz was down sort of at an angle here. Let's go see what we can see. Plenty of foxes. Ah, they're just in the map. What's that white splotch? Oh, I bet I know what that is. I bet I know. Yep, okay. Ah, we missed this coming through here last time. It looks like we have another trader here. Right next to a gravel death pit. Death pit indeed. We have an artisan. What's your name? Hey, Karen. Cool. So artisans sell things like tapestries and pottery. We can get some very nice storage vessels. And they will buy the materials to make those things, as well as clothing, gems, and also certain other specific vessels you can only find as loot. Let's get down here, let's get this quartz, and let's get home. Yes, as far as finding traders on the map goes, keep your eyes peeled for weird, like, geometric splotches of just white. So that was this guy here. Oh, it was this guy here, actually. I thought this was him, but no, I think this was the cave. Okay, keep your eye out for, like, white blobs. The circles are typically holes, but anything non-circular is usually worth checking out because it might be a trader. So we have some quartz here as well. Let's have a bit of a snack here. So we currently have 4 clear quartz. Let's see if we can get some more. Yeah, I don't see any more, so let's take a look at our spoils. 7. Okay, so we have 3 windows and half of a 4th. Let's take this home and let's actually make a window, and we'll see how it looks and whether we want to make some more. Full disclosure, I already do want to make more. Alright folks, we are home safe and sound. I did not manage to find any more raccoons along the way. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to take this one piece of fat and I'll just do these 2 raccoon pelts we have here. Okay, things are put away and I am nice and fed and fat and happy. Let's take a look at making glass. To make some glass, you're going to take your clear quartz, put it in the middle of your crafting grid, and you're going to put some sticks all around it in 4 directions. Top, left, right, and bottom. And that will get you 1 glass per 4 sticks and per 2 pieces of clear quartz. We have 3 glass. If we were in the Copper Age and we had a saw, we could saw these down into slabs, effectively doubling our output. But we're not, so we can't. I'm going to put our first window made of glass right here. I'm kind of envisioning this being our kitchen window. And you'll see it's not terribly clear, but it does give a much better view outside of it. I think the next window I'm going to place is going to be this one here. There we go. That's toward the south. And then maybe out here toward our farm. There we go. I think it just gives a much more open appearance rather than having these things here. These make it feel like I'm in a bit of a jail cell, and these do not. So we didn't get a whole lot of clear quartz from that, and it took us the better part of, what, about a day to complete, all for 3 windows? That's not very efficient. Not to worry, the next method isn't very efficient either, but at least it's a lot safer. The next method we're going to explore is the wild and crazy world of panning. What's panning? Well, just like in the real world, it's where you take sand or silt or gravel and things, and you take a pan, hence the name, and stand in some water and you swoosh, swoosh, swoosh your pan in the water, and you look for little bits and pieces of things you're looking for in it. So maybe you're looking for fossils or river rocks or garnets or whatever. In our case, we're looking for clear quartz, but panning can net you a whole lot of different resources. Some of them more useful than others, and it's certainly a slow way of getting resources, but there are some things that are just only or more easily found by panning. It is getting late, so I'm going to probably do some crop rotation. I'll check the bees if there aren't any rifts around, and then I'll see you all in the morning when it is time for us to explore how to pan. Good morning, my intrepid panners. Panniers? Panteras? Pantographs? I don't know. Whatever you guys want to call yourselves. Today, we're going to do some panning. Now, to get started, all you really need is a bit of sand or gravel, and you need a pan. To make a pan, it's quite simple. Take a log of any kind, plop it in your crafting grid, Take your knife, put it to the right of the pan, and you'll get a wooden pan. Let's also run and grab a bit of gravel. There's a gravel patch we have over here. Okay, 16 is more than enough for a demonstration. Let's go and get right to it. You'll need to find some water. Luckily, we have settled right next to some. And you're going to take your gravel or sand and plop it right down. Stand in the water. And I believe you can stand on a slab in the water if you would like to. And get your pan, right-click with the pan on the gravel, and then right-click it again. You don't need to hold it, and you don't need to look in the water, as long as you're standing in the water. And apparently the durability on the pan doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway, your character will slosh that gravel around in the pan like that. I'm just looking at it so you can see it. And if your bags shake, that indicates something is popped into them. We've gotten a nugget of native copper and some blue clay. After doing, 4 or so pan actions? We got something else. We got a slate stone. Nothing that time. Got something there. We got another nugget. Okay. And another slate stone. What did I tell you? Exciting stuff, huh? I know, right? Ooh. Our cattails just grew before my very eyes. Excellent. That means more beeswax for us. Sand and gravel are not the only things you can pan, however. In our big bee hunt episode, we came back with a bunch of bony soil. Now this stuff, for me, is like pay dirt. Because you can find all kinds of crazy things in here. From candles, to bones, to flax fibers, to gemstones. All kinds of interesting things can be unearthed from bony soil. Oops. And if you open your inventory while you're trying to pan, it does stop you. We got a candle. Our very first pan of bony soil, we got a candle. Wow. That is lucky. Candles aren't super rare, but they also aren't very common. That is quite lucky indeed. We'll go ahead and... We got a rough peridot. My goodness, this is just treasure. Real pay dirt here. And about half of every panning action will come away with nothing. But that is fine, given we already got 2 excellent things and an extra bone. And a flint arrowhead just popped in there. Another bone. More bones. Gee, and bony soil. Who'd have guessed? And nothing. So we got, from 1 block of bony soil, we got a rough peridot, a candle, 3 bones, and a flint arrowhead. All in all, not too shabby. Now, the bony soil won't contain any of the stones or the clear quartz that we're after. It is a completely different set of treasure you can get from it. But it is a great way to get things like candles in the early game. And that brings us to our 9th candle in our bunch of candles. And this is the maximum amount of candles you can put in a square. Let's close this up, and we'll close this off. And you'll see they emit a rather bright but yellow light when they are gathered together. And you can pick them up one by one and watch the light get dimmer and dimmer, and put them down and watch it get brighter. This is a light level of 15, and that is the most we can get while relying solely on Stone Age non-treasure light sources. Now you see why I said we need tons of them. And panning is the kind of thing that, you don't want to just focus on. It's best to put on something in the background and watch, I don't know, Netflix or anime or a movie or something, and just pan while you're doing nothing else. It's also good for wasting time while you are waiting for nighttime to pass and the monsters outside are just blocking you in. You don't want to sleep. Panning is a great way to get some great resources, especially from bony soil. And if you're just looking for odds and ends from gravel and sand, then that's an option as well. But if it is an activity that is best done at night, we don't want to be doing it out here now, do we? Now we could build a little outhouse here and sit in it at night and pan away. But if we end up surrounded by monsters and we're starving, or a temporal storm hits and we're, can't get to our home, that's a problem. Well, my friends, not anymore. Because there is a way that we can transport water in the Stone Age. And I touched on this in the very earliest episodes, but we can actually go to the top of yon mountain, or near the top, and bring back some of that ice up there. We should be able to place that ice down in a couple places in our house and end up with basins of water. I'm thinking one like right in here somewhere might be nice, maybe around this corner. Maybe move our fire pit would be a good idea. And then it might also be nice to have one up here and have like a bit of a kitchen sink where we can wash out rot if we end up with rot in any of our bowls or our crocks, as well as for dipping water out of if we want to use water in, for example, soup. So, without further ado, I say, let's go climb this mountain. Oh, let's not jump down that giant hole though. Alright, here we are at the top. Lots of bun-buns. We saw some bighorns. Ooh, we don't want to bother the bighorns because they might come and try to gore us. Ow! Get out of here. Get out of here. Ugh. That hurt a lot. Wow. Good grief. You couldn't just leave me alone, could you? Well, now that we're here and we're wounded, let's go ahead and grab some of this ice here. You can just pick it up with your hands, like so. I'm going to grab a couple blocks here, maybe 4 or 5. There we go. That should be plenty. Oh, we're going to leave that ram alone. He'll come after us if we get too close. Okay, we made it down. Not too much the worse for wear, I suppose. Let's go get these down ASAP, just in case they do have a tendency to melt. I'm going to plop one right there. I'm going to plop one down here. I think maybe right here on the... Yeah, right here should be good. There we are. And for science, we're going to put these 3 in here, and we'll see if they melt in that inventory. Now, these can take a while to melt, so we're just going to leave them, and we'll come back and check on them here and there. I've had them melt instantly, but I've also had them wait as long as 2 days before melting. Alright, folks, I just came in from checking the bees. We did get a lot of honeycomb, and more importantly, I see our water here has melted. Our ice in here has not melted. And the ice here has melted too. Excellent. So now we have a place where we can sit in relative safety, and we can pan to our heart's content. What's that? You don't want to pan? Well, I mean, sorry to tell you, but that's kind of what this episode's about, so maybe we can spruce it up. Hit it, Jim. What did I tell you? Panning can be extremely cool, extremely awesome, and rad, yo. It's lit. It's fire. It's 6, 7? Anyway, that was probably more interesting for you than it was for me. You get the edited version. Now I'm going to put the spoils we get from panning the gravel into this vessel, and I will put the spoils we get from panning bony soil into the other vessel over there. So what have we got so far? We've gotten, let's see, 13 nuggets of copper, 2 blue clay, 16 slate stone, 2 quartz chunk, 2 clear quartz, which I think might just be 1. I think we already have. We were keeping the 1 with us, I think. 5 flint, 2 flint spearheads, 2 flint arrowheads, and a copper spearhead. That's pretty cool. Now, similar to the copper knife we got from a tool vessel in a previous episode, a copper spear isn't that big of an upgrade over a flint spear, so I will go ahead and we'll use it. If we were to get things like a copper pickaxe, however, that would vault us very far forward in technology, at least from where we are today. But to make a copper spear, it's the same thing as a flint spear, just with a copper head on. As you'll see, it is a lot more durable at 140 rather than 32. It deals 2.8 damage per hit and 5 damage when thrown. So a small boost over the flint spear in damage, but in durability it is massive. Anyway, I'm going to pan the rest of this gravel, I'm going to pan the bony soil, and I will make candles with the beeswax that we have. And then I'll see you all in the morning when we can go over our spoils and see what kinds of cool things we got. Alright folks, it is morning, and I haven't quite finished panning everything in there yet, so I'm going to do that tonight, but since it is not night anymore, that means it's time to do the daytime things. Like I said, panning is best done when you have nothing else to do, and if you're also just really bored, or you really want something that you can get from panning. But aside from that, you probably don't want to waste your time doing it if there are other things to do. For example, we could be watering our crops and making them grow faster. We could be harvesting cattails that have grown, so we can make more skeps. We could be checking our skeps, only to find that none of them are ready for harvesting. We could be digging up peat to replace all the peat we burned in our fire, making jam and meals and all those candles. We could also check out why there's a purple star on a map here. High fertility soil? We had found some up here the first time where we got this stuff from. Low fertility. No, it's low fertility. Oh! How did I mark this? Oh, you know what I bet happened? I bet I knelt here to nap something, and that got marked. Oh, that is too funny. That is wild. And super lucky. And this, my friends, this is one of the issues you will have with finding high fertility soil. In previous seasons of the guide, I have in fact found some while doing things like digging long trenches for traps, and especially for digging roads so I can replace the dirt with gravel, the gravel pathways here. So yeah, keep an eye out, and I guess notice what the top of the screen says at all times if you possibly can. I'm going to go ahead and dig this up. Holy cow. 56 more high fertility soil. That is quite the haul right there. We have an ugly ditch here now. I'm going to go ahead and fill this back in with some of this low fertility soil. Let this grow over. Wah! Just right here off the corner of the house. I think we probably would have run into it anyway at some point, just because I am planning on extending parts of the house out this way. But what a stroke of luck, especially this late in the season. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to expand our farmland just a little bit to make room for this high fertility soil, or at least most of it. I might not even use all of it. But we'll see. I'm going to grab a bit more dirt here and get working on that. Well, this sure was a good day, wasn't it? But it's night, which means back to panning. Alright folks, panning complete. It's still a bit early in the morning, but I'm kind of out of gravel and I'm out of bony soil. So, let's take a peek at our spoils. From the gravel, the final tally is 16 nuggets of copper, 2 blue clay, 26 slate stone. And this type of stone will depend on what kind of sand or gravel you're panning. 3 quartz chunks. I think this is actually just one. I'm pretty sure we were already carrying one of these clear quartz chunks. 9 flint, 3 flint spearheads, 2 flint arrowheads, 1 nugget of sphalerite, and over here we have our copper spear from the copper spearhead. From the bony soil. Wow. Also, didn't have room for these guys. 54 bones, 2 rough peridot, 11 flint arrowheads, 2 candles, 2 more copper spearheads, 3 bony rib cages, 22 pieces of flax fiber, 3 rusty gears, 8 copper arrowheads, 2 nuggets of native gold, a nugget of silver, and 1 set of copper lamellae, which is for making armor. Although you can't do much with just one. We also got these 2 lore books, and this is the primary way that the story gets told until you progress later into the game. I'm going to go ahead and read these books, at least I'm going to add them to our journal. I will put them up on screen, but I won't read them right now. I think we will have a sort of campfire story time where we read those. We've done that in the past, and it's probably time for us to read these stories together again. Also, headphones warning. We got Demetri's Notes, Part 1 of 5, and we got Letters, Part 1 of 8. You can press J to bring up your journal. I'm going to click on those, and you can pause here to read if you'd like. And here as well. And then we have letters. Oh, and we have friends suddenly. Let's make sure our doors are all closed. Closed, closed. I'm going to put something right here so I can block that off. Now, books can be placed on surfaces like this. We'll place them down for now. And I think what I want to do while we have the chance, while it's still nighttime, is I want to deal with this nonsense here. Let's make this floor a bit more livable. Maybe not perfect just yet, but I want to make it something that we can be proud of and not feel like we need to hunker down in the basement. So, let's get some stone, and let's build our little kitchen here. Oh, and the books do emit these weird dust particles. That's so that you notice them when you are in a ruin or in a story location. It's so you don't miss them. So I think what I want to do here is we're going to make some stone stairs. And that is done by putting your stones like this with the top left one missing, and putting a piece of clay in here. And I'm going to quickly break this dirt, replace it with the stair, like that, there we go. And then here, I think we'll do the same thing. There we go. And then let's just make another little bit of countertop going across here. There we go, a nice little countertop. We can go ahead and bring up some of our crocks and maybe set some fire pits there so we can now cook upstairs. And for the cozy factor, I think I want to put one more fireplace or fire pit right here. But first I'm going to make a full block of granite stone. And we're going to turn this into a bit of a chimney here. Like that. And maybe we will leave that for now, but we'll replace this guy, as well as this guy, with some more stairs. So one like that, and one like that. That way we have a bit of a hood vent. Ignore that piece of floor that's still there. And there we go, the start of a fire pit. We'll make it official with some logs. Take them back out. Instant fire pit, look at that. Put our cooking pots here by the window. And our bowls maybe over here. We'll put 3 of them here. There we go. Oh, I know what we're missing here. I think we need something to wipe our feet on when we come into the house. And I know just the thing for that. It is like this, and with a knife up in here. Here we go. Some rush matting. Just beware that you can place these on top of each other, and they start Z-fighting. And I don't think you get them back if you break the floor. It's looking pretty good. Maybe we could bring up that bear pelt and put him on the floor next to our bed. Although I think eventually our bedroom will be on the 2nd floor. But that will help make this just a bit more cozy. And this lantern I think is going to have to go on the wall here. Right-click it onto the wall. That's pretty cool. And I think the last thing is I want to put one last oil lamp right there. Or no. Let's get some candles. So we have a boatload of those now. And for now, these will go... Oh, let's make a little shelf for them. There we go. Looking pretty good. Maybe a stair would look better there. There we go. Looks a bit less lost now. And let's do the window right behind them. Can make a fresh piece of glass. And we'll just tuck that right in there. Beautiful. And maybe these books should come up with us too. I think putting books on the floor isn't a great idea. They'll get trampled there. So maybe we can bring them over here and maybe put them in the corner on a little, just a corner kind of shelfy thing. There we go. Maybe just for decoration, if we have some space left, I don't know we do, we could bring up a jug. Ooh, you know, let's move the bowl here, this jug there, and this bowl there. A very full countertop. I think the only thing missing here is going to be some more fuel. Let's go maybe just get a stack of this instead of the firewood. And there we go. A stack of fuel for cooking. Well, folks, we didn't quite get to finish out all of our windows, but that's okay. I'm just glad that I was able to show you how to go about panning for all kinds of goodies that you can use for building or for decoration or for lighting your house in the case of candles. And the spare weapon parts won't go amiss either. Anyway, in the next episode, I want to start gathering materials for our house. And that may take us a bit farther away than we've already been. To that end, we're going to spend some time getting ready to explore and talking about how to prepare for explorations that are going to take us farther away and for a longer time from our house than we've been before. If you enjoyed this exploration of how to get into panning and cheeky things like bringing ice down from the mountain to create blocks of water, as well as our little decorating session here at the end of the episode, I can't wait to get this house looking like it's lived in and feeling cozy. The names scrolling by belong to the awesome people who are supporting the channel by subscribing as channel members. If you too would like to see your name in the credits, get access to videos before anybody else does, and maybe even hear me butcher your name in the next part, then go to the channel, check out memberships, and see what's on tap. The following people have gone the extra mile to support the channel by signing on as a Seraph. Their names are Elizabeth Woolley, Inger Raymond, Joshua Saruda, Linda Harris, Lucky's Mom, Mad Lord Hubris, Oak Tree, Servus, Smiley Builds, Snow Silver, Sue Wallace, Tyluna, and Wade Parker. As always, my name has been Kurazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.